Hello, this is lesson 4.2, negative exponents. Write the title at the top of your paper, split your paper into 4 sections, pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. On the upper left side of your notes, I want you to copy these 2 rules, pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. So, the first rule that we're going to go over is called the negative exponent rule. And what that rule says is that any number that's raised to the negative power can be written as a fraction. So the fraction would be 1 over that power, but now that exponent is positive. The other rule is the zero exponent rule. The zero exponent rule is any number that is raised to the 0 power is going to equal 1. Except x cannot equal 0. So any number other than when x is 0, any number raised to the 0 power will be 1. On the upper right side of your notes, I want you to copy what you see on your screen. Make sure to skip at least 1 row in between problems 1 and 2. Pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. Okay, so in this problem, these 2 problems, we're going to rewrite using positive exponents. So for problem number 1, we're going to be using the negative exponent rule. And if you remember on the negative exponent rule, when you have a number raised to the negative power, what that means is you can write it as a fraction with 1 in the numerator and then the power in the denominator. And then the power will then become positive. So this here can be written as 1 over 3 to the 5th power. And then we're going to leave it with the power in the denominator. We're not going to evaluate 3 to the 5th because the directions say to use positive exponents. So then this is our final answer. Okay, and then on problem number 2, it's 2 to the 0 power. So this is where we would use the negative exponent rule. And remember, on the zero exponent rule, it says any number raised to the 0 power is going to equal 1. So 2 to the 0 power equals 1. So let's write equals 1, and then that's our final answer. Okay, so underneath problem number 2, I want you to write down what you see on your screen, problems 3 and 4, still in the top right section of your notes. Pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. Okay, so for these 2 problems, they're asking us to rewrite them using a negative exponent other than -1. So for problem 3 here, we're just going to work in reverse order. So we're given a fraction with a power on the bottom, a 1 is in the numerator, and then we're going to rewrite this as a negative exponent. So then our exponent becomes 6 to the negative 3rd power. I should say our power becomes 6 to the negative 3rd power. Now for problem number 4, in the denominator we have a 27, okay, and we still have a 1 in the numerator, so that's good. But for the 27, we have to change that so that it's written as a power that has an exponent other than a 1. So 27 can be written as 3 times 3 times 3. So I want you to write that down on your paper. Okay, so I'm going to now rewrite this fraction like this. 1 over 3 to the 3rd power. Now it looks a lot like problem 3. And then to rewrite this using a negative exponent, we would have 3 to the negative 3rd power. Okay, and notice that on these powers, the base stays positive. The base is the big number. Okay, that stays positive. It's the exponent that turns negative. On the lower left side, I want you to copy what you see on your screen, pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. So for this problem here, what we're going to do is we're going to first write this as a fraction. And to do that, we need to figure out what place the 1 is in. So this is the tenths place, the hundredths, the thousandths. So this is the 10,000ths. So this decimal is 1 10,000ths. So there's our fraction. And now we're going to write this 10,000 as a power. So it becomes 1 over 10 to the 4th. And we know that it's a power of 4 because there are 4 zeros after this 1. And then the last step is we're going to write this using a negative exponent. So I'll write it down below. This is going to be 10 to the negative 4th power. So now let's go ahead and box the fraction and then the power. Okay, for the last 3 problems, I want you to write what you see on your screen, pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. All right, so now on these variable expressions, we're going to plug in m equals 4 and n equals 3 and evaluate it. That means solve it all the way through, and that will be your answer. So for number 6, we have m to the negative 2nd power, and m is equal to 4. So when we rewrite that, we're going to get 4 to the negative 2nd power. And then using our negative exponent rule, that's going to equal 1 over 4 to the 2nd power, which then that would equal 1 over 16. Because 4 to the 2nd power is 16. And then this is your final answer. Okay. For number 7, we're going to plug in the 4 for m and the 3 for n. So now we have this expression, and this one's a little bit more complicated because that negative 4 only belongs to the number that it's closest to. So the negative 4 only belongs to the 3. And so what I often tell kids is to go ahead and circle that together so you know, oh, those two go together. The 6 times 4, that's separate. So the 6 times 4, you're just going to multiply it like normal, which means that they equal 24, okay? And then in the denominator, the 3 to the negative 4th, that's going to go into the denominator. And the 4 now will be positive. And then you're going to go ahead and evaluate. 24 stays on top, and then 3 to the 4th power is going to equal 81. Okay, and the last step is don't forget to check if it can be simplified, which it can. So now we're going to divide both of those by 3, and our final fraction is going to be 8 over 27. And then this is our final answer. Okay, now let's look at number 8. Number 8, we have negative n to the negative 3rd power. So again, we're going to replace the n with a 3. Okay, so for this one here, what's going to happen is, remember what I said, that negative exponent goes to whatever it's closest to. So since that negative is in front of the 3, this part here is not, they don't have parentheses around it. This negative 3 only goes to that 3. We're going to go ahead and circle it. It's going to be like a shield, okay? So that negative on the front out here, we're going to put that in at the end. So this, we're going to convert it into a fraction, okay? So we're going to then have a 1 over 3 to the 3rd. And now that negative in front is just either going to go in front of the fraction or it can go on top, all right? And then we're going to go ahead and simplify that. So I'm going to leave the negative sign on the top. 3 to the 3rd power is 27. Okay, and then we're going to box that answer. And if you have been listening to this video, we're going to do a code word. The code word is going to be shield. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.